Food for All, a journey of giving. In the heart of a bustling small town in Ohio, Clara Thompson wiped flour off her hands and stared at the empty shelves of her local food pantry. At 28, she'd never given much thought to where food came from beyond her own kitchen. But the pantry's bare shelves, coupled with the tired faces of neighbors lining up for help, stirred something in her. She wanted to do more than donate a few cans. She wanted to understand how to truly feed her community. Clara started small, volunteering at the pantry every Saturday. She learned quickly that the need was relentless. Families came, single parents, elderly couples, veterans, each with stories of layoffs, medical bills, or just bad luck. The pantry relied on sporadic donations, mostly from local grocery stores and church drives, but it wasn't enough. "We're rationing canned corn like it's gold," the manager said with a weary laugh. Clara took note. Consistency was the problem. She began researching. Online, she found reports estimating that 12% of Americans faced food insecurity in 2025, even with economic recovery efforts. Rural areas like hers were hit hard, with fewer resources than cities. She read about food deserts where fresh produce was a luxury and saw her own town reflected in those stories. The nearest supermarket was a 30-minute drive, and not everyone had a car. Clara felt a spark of purpose. She could help fix this. Her first step was talking to people. She knocked on doors, sat in diners, and listened. A mother of 3 admitted she stretched meals with cheap pasta because fresh vegetables were too expensive. An elderly man shared how he skipped meals to afford his prescriptions. Clara realized access wasn't just about food. It was about logistics, affordability, and dignity. She teamed up with a local farmer, Mr. Jenkins, who grew sweet potatoes and greens but struggled to sell his surplus. Stores want perfect-looking produce. The rest just rots. Clara saw an opportunity. She organized a weekly ugly produce pickup where volunteers collected imperfect but edible crops from Jenkins' farm and delivered them to the pantry. It was a hit. Families loved the fresh greens, and Jenkins donated more each week. But Clara wanted scale. She learned about community-supported agriculture, CSA programs, and pitched one to her town. Neighbors could buy shares of local farm harvests at low cost, and those who couldn't pay could volunteer for their share. She partnered with 3 more farmers, secured a grant from a local nonprofit, and set up a distribution hub at the community center. By spring, 50 families were getting weekly boxes of carrots, apples, and zucchini, food that felt like a gift, not charity. The real challenge was transportation. Many couldn't reach the hub. Clara rallied a group of high schoolers with driver's licenses to deliver boxes to shut-ins and carless families. She also worked with the local church to convert an old van into a mobile market, bringing food directly to neighborhoods. The kids called it the Veggie Van, and it became a weekend staple, blasting music and handing out free recipes with every bag. Clara's biggest lesson came from failure. One month, a delivery miscommunication left 20 families without their boxes. Angry calls flooded in, and Clara felt crushed. But she listened, apologized, and held a town hall to hear solutions. The community suggested a group chat for real-time updates and a backup pickup day. Clara implemented both, and trust grew stronger than before. By year's end, Clara's efforts fed 200 families consistently. She wasn't just distributing food, she was building a system. Farmers had steady buyers, volunteers found purpose, and neighbors felt seen. Clara learned that helping wasn't about handouts. It was about connecting people to resources, listening to their needs, and giving them tools to thrive. As she locked up the pantry one evening, Miss Lorraine clapped her shoulder. "You didn't just bring food, Clara. You brought us together." Clara smiled, already planning her next step, a community garden. She knew now that feeding people started with understanding them, and that was a lesson she'd carry forever.